Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is approximation and estimation part 15, which is the final part under approximation and estimation. Okay, so this is the conclusion part. Then we can solve questions, on what we've done so far and this one too. Okay, now we have standard form, and then we have multiplication and division. Okay, under this part, we both know what we can use here. We can apply indices. We can apply indices to solve this part. Indices to solve this part. There's no need for us to, start racking our brain. So, and if you've gone through our indices, this will be much easier for you to play around with. So let's just quickly go um to the example that we can use here. Okay. Let me just say example. Okay. So let me just say multiply. Multiply. I'm using this word 6 times. Okay, don't let me use that one so that you won't get confused. Okay. Let me use number multiply. 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 And what do I use now? Let me just say 3.1. Let's say 3.2. Okay. Times 10 raised to power 4. Okay. 3.2 times 10 raised to power 4. Then what other value can we use right now? Okay, so it means that we can use, let me just use multiply 3.2 times 10 raised to power 4, and let me just say 7. Okay, my marker is going. Let me just say 7.5 times 10 raised to power 6. Okay, so let's assume you're asked to multiply 3.2 times 10 raised to power 4 and 7.5 times 10 raised to power 6. How do you do it without calculator? Very simple. It's straightforward. I've mentioned how you can multiply decimal before. Okay, I've taught that. Then all you just need to apply is just law of indices that we've done in part 14 to our 10 raised to power. Okay, so solution today you have 3.2 times 10 raised to power 4. Okay, that's times 7.5 times 10 raised to power what? Times 10 raised to power 6. It's just like changing and pure water. It's very simple. So all you just need to do here is that you just need to have the 3.2 times 7.5, okay, times 10 raised to power 4 times 10 raised to power what? Times 10 raised to power 6. So you have your 10 raised to power 4, 10 raised to power 4, 10 raised to power 6, 10 raised to power 6, and you're multiplying 3.2 times 7.5. Okay, and don't forget, I've shown you, okay, if you're given this one either in your respective classes, either in SS1, SS2, and SS3, okay, and you are asked to show your working without calculator, you know what to do. Okay, that is exactly. And then you are also in the example or perhaps in the theoretical part, and you are asked to do this, and then without calculator, or you're in the JAMB section, or you're in an entrance exam when you're not permitted to use calculator. So you just need to quickly know how to, manipulate this once and for all. I've told you how to do this. Do it manually. That's 32 times what? 75. Okay. So that's 32 times 75. You have your 75 here. So it means at the end of the day, you can have 5 times 2, 10, carry 1. 5 times 3, 15, plus 1, 16. 7 times 2, 14, carry 1. 7 times 3, 21, plus 1, that's what? 22. So you have 6, you have 0, you have 10, okay? Then you have 4, you have 2. So if you multiply these two together, you have what? 2,400 times 10 raised to power. Don't forget, pick one base and add the power. 4 plus 6. Okay? So now, don't forget, where are you going to put your points? I've shown you before when we're doing our normal, multiplication. of decimal. Okay, I've shown you when we're doing our normal multiplication of what? Of decimal. So it means that if we want to put our point here, what do we do? So you count the number of points that you have there. You have 1, 2. Okay, so you have 1 point here. Okay, that is only, then you have another point, that's 1, 2. So it means you count 1, 2. So when you count, you put your what? Your point. So it means that implies that this thing is what? 24.00 times 10 raised to power 4 plus 6, that's what? 10. So it means that that is the what? That is the answer. Okay, so when you're doing your normal multiplication, you know you have 2 points. They are going, one is the first one, which is 3.2. You have another one, which is what? 7.5. And what is the figure after each of those figures? You have one figure, which is 2. Then the other one, you also have one figure, which is 5. So at it mean you have 7.53, then it means it will be 3. You count 3 before you put your point. Assuming you have, maybe you have like 3.26, 7.53. So it means you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so but in this case now, after the point, you only have one figure. That is why we're counting 1 and 2. So the answer is what? 24.00 times 10 raised to power what? 10. So the same thing applies to avoid wasting much time. The same method applies to what? To division. Okay, so division now. So when you're asked to divide under standard what? Under standard form. So let's assume we say divide, okay, and let me see how I can change this. Okay, let me see. Let me see. This one is let me see. Okay, this one is what? Let me see. This one is 1.6. Okay, and I can also change this. I can change the power of 10. So you can form any questions as much as you can if you understand exactly what the topic is all about. And that is why we are having these classes, because you can groom yourself and then end up being a very you are very good at mathematics. Let's assume this one is what? 2, and let's assume this one is what? 3. So the questions now says that divide 3.2 times 10 raised to power what? 2, and 1.6 times 10 raised to power what? 3. The same thing applies. Apply the law of what? Indices. Okay, divide 3.1 over 2 times 10 raised to power 2. Okay, okay, by, you understand, divide 3 point by English. Okay, divide 3.2 times 10 raised to power 2 by 1.6 times 10 raised to power 3. So this is the interpretation. Okay, this is 3.2 times 10 raised to power 2 by, we are dividing this by that. That's 1.6 times 10 raised to power what? 3. It's as simple as that. You see it now. Okay, so it means that this implies that you can have 3.2 over 1.6 times 10 raised to power 2, 10 raised to power what? 3. It's still the same thing. Okay, it's still the same thing. So I'm just trying to split it because it's multiplication. Now, law of indices. When you have division, law of indices, the other one we applied under multiplication is what? Multiplication law of indices. But in this case now, is division law of what? Of indices. So that implies that you can have 3.2 over 1.6 times 10 raised to power 2, take one base and subtract the power, minus 3. Okay, law of indices. Take one base and subtract the what? The power. So how do we do this one without using calculator? I've shown you before. So this one will be what? This 3.2 is same thing as what? 32 over what? 10, right? Then divided by this long division, I'm changing it to what? to short division. Okay, the long division I'm changing into short division. Okay, so this divided by what? 16 over what? Over 10 times 10 raised to power. So 2 minus 3, that's what? Minus 1. Very simple. And I've told you that anytime you want to change division to what? To multiplication. Anytime you want to change division to multiplication, what do? Okay, you, and I've said it, anything on the right hand side is the honor of the sign. 16 over 10 is the honor of this sign. So it means this numerator will become denominator, denominator will become what? Numerator. This denominator here, it will move up, numerator will come down. So it's very simple. This is 32 over 10 times 10 over what? 16 times 10 raised to power minus what? 1. 10 will cancel 10, 16 here 1, 16 here what? 2. So that implies the answer is what? 2 times 10 raised to power minus 1 in standard form. Okay, so because in standard form your 10 raised to power must come out. Please follow us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to reach a lot of young minds, a lot of students. Okay, by the time we're done with all this mathematics, you will see that any topic you pick here and you listen to it, you will see that you'll be very, very good at it because you've been able to summarize it and coincide it, in such a way that you can understand better. Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.